Artifacts, what should I keep? Currently, I'm keeping the ones that has 2-star for their skills, while I've seen one where attack 108 and max brave 330. So the consensus that a lot of people have, fuck them. My opinion is the base stats are most important, namely attack 108. And the reason is the following. So if you have 3 artifacts that say attack 108, that's an increase of like attack by like what, 324 or something. So that 324 attack doesn't seem cool at all, right? Except that everything else in the game is affecting those base stats. So if you have a character that has 3000 attack and then you add the additional 300 onto it, now they're at 3,300. But then that character has an aura that says like, hey, attack up, right? So it's like attack up plus 50%. Well, that 50% is working off the 3,300. Well, then you have Ifrit as your summon. So Ifrit's like, hey, I'm going to increase your attack power by 30. So then we're increasing your 3,300 by 30%. But you're also in a party with Arciela, who I think increases your attack stat also. So she's increasing your attack stat. So now that 3,300 is being boosted again. So then you go over here and then you look at your main person, and then he said your other character, and your other character is also boosting the party because it's Bart's. And Bart says, hey, after you use a skill twice, he increases the party's attack by like 80%. That would apply to Brave too, I see? Yeah, Max Brave. So what happens is, when you have all of these effects working together, eventually it means that your attack, your base attack stats, even though they seem insignificant at the start, and Max Brave also, eventually they just get like multiplied to the point where it means more than the 5 or 10% increase you get to a particular skill. The other thing about the skill star stats is this instance of like, all right, so for Squall, if you have 3 artifacts that have attack 108, that's better than having 3 artifacts that say Renzokuken plus whatever, because that attack stat is affecting his Brave attack, his HP attack, Solid Barrel, Renzokuken, his LD, his burst, everything, right? All of his follow-ups, everything. So it's better now at this point in the game. Those stats were way more useful, arguably, when the level cap in this game was level 50 and we didn't have burst weapons or LD weapons or anything, right? The only thing we had in the game was Brave attack, HP attack, and 2 skills. So typically for some characters, like let's say, I don't know, Edge. Edge has Smokescreen, and then his other attack is Shock. Well, you don't really need to care about Smokescreen, so if you got Smokescreen 2-star on him, not Smokescreen, the Shock 2-star on him, that's pretty much your main attack. So at that time, it made sense to have that artifact on him. So a lot of people go for that kind of stuff. Can I get to his artifacts from here? Alright, yeah, I can. So, right now for El Narc, I have, I think, 2 artifacts that are attack 108 and Phantom of Distant Past boost. Now, the 2 stars that are not attached to a move, those are typically good for the character, but it's still your call. For him, his artifact, for this one in particular, is a special unique artifact that increases his max brave and attack by 5%. This is like interchangeably good with max brave instead, but probably like attack 108 is what you want anyway, especially at level 200 content, where the problem is that the enemies have like a billion defense. So in Chaos content, you're probably used to seeing maxed out Brave damage all the time, but in this content, like right now, what I'm doing with this like really like thrown together team, Squall's only doing like 6,000 to 7,000 Brave damage per hit. So having like a crazy amount of max Brave for him right now doesn't really mean too much, because the majority of his attacks, he's doing like 60k damage. So he's not hitting like his max Brave cap most of the time. So the reason why abilities like Phantom Distant Pass bonus are good is because it's the only other way to increase your attack beyond the attack stat. So if you have an artifact that's attack 108, and then you have an artifact that says attack plus 5%, that's really good because then you're really juicing your attack. In my opinion, if you get attack 108 and Max Brave, that's probably just as good. The only exception is there's other characters, like, let's go look at Aerith real quick. Let's see if this loads correctly. There's other characters that have artifacts that affect the entire party, which is why things get really nutty, and Aerith is a good example of a new character that has that kind of artifact going for her. Alright, so she has a few things, but you might have seen this if you're ever doing artifacts for Aerith, and you're like, that's cool, Prayer of the Cetra charge. Like, I get to use Prayer of the Cetra one more time in battle. And that is sick, except that you see this thing right here, which is, she gets to use Healing Wind one more time, and it raises the entire party's Max Brave by 15%. So it's not like, this raises Aerith's Max Brave by 15%. This raises Laguna's Max Brave, Squall's Max Brave, and her Max Brave by 15%. And if you have 3 of these artifacts, that means that just by having these artifacts, you're increasing everyone's Max Brave by 45%, which is more than what the Brothers Summon does, just by her being in the party. The other thing is, this is, by the way, DissidiaDB.com, if you're not familiar. This is, like, in my opinion, the best resource for just raw information in this game. So you can look up anything. And the coolest thing about this website, in my opinion, also, is that there's no, like, editorials or opinionated posts, and there's no, like, Aerith's bad, you should roll for this person instead. It's literally just like, here's the information, you can make your own decision. Now, the only opinion they do have is Rem, who's the webmaster of this site, did add a star here that was like, hey, you should go for attack 108, and hey, you should go for healing wind charge boost. That's just like the suggestion of Rem. And the reason why you want attack 108 for Aerith is because certain characters, all of their moves go off of certain things. Her healing wind, for instance, it grants the party bravery and recovers the HP of the party. However, this is based off 70% of her attack stat. So the more attack stat Aerith has, the more healing she's doing with everything else. But different characters go off different things. So, like, all of Warrior of Light shields go off of initial bravery. So maybe you want to max out his initial bravery instead. Anyway, that's the thing. Damn, I've been selecting artifacts the wrong way. Thanks for the info. Hey, no problem. That's just a general catch-all for everyone. And now I have a clip to upload on YouTube. Fuck yes. Great job, lonely. Great job, Lonely Booty. Together we accomplish things. Look at us making content like professionals. Weird. And then the joke's on me when, like, I actually just don't upload this at all or remember to edit it. All right, so we're at 54 turns. They're at 28%. We still have a summon. We already bursted. We're playing this game. We have battery life. We're doing fine. What am I doing here?